What happened to the non-heir children of medieval European nobles? Greetings, my noble lord. I am your loyal advisor, Shinbai. Congratulations on the birth of your 13th son. Having so many children is truly enviable, but you must plan for their future. Your heir will naturally inherit the family's land and fortune, continuing your legacy. But what to do with your other children? That is indeed a difficult matter. To ease your concerns, I will offer some information on the paths of medieval noble children. Let's see what became of those who were not heirs. In medieval Europe, male primogeniture was the most common system of inheritance. Therefore, children other than the eldest son typically did not inherit your title or primary lands. The purpose of this rule was to keep a lord's land and power consolidated, maintaining the family's influence and the stability of feudal society. Therefore, the non-heir children of nobles had to find their own path, but every family faced its own unique challenges. However, due to harsh living conditions and lifestyles, many medieval nobles did not have a large pool of legal heirs. Many nobles had only one male heir, or even none at all. They did not share your fortunate dilemma. For example, John D. Warren, England's 6th Earl of Surrey, had 3 children with his wife. Only one of them was a son, named William. Tragically, before William could inherit the title, he was killed in a tournament in the winter of 1286. Fortunately, the Earl already had a grandson. This grandson, John, would go on to become the 7th Earl. Situations like this were very common. So, you truly have little to worry about. Although your non-heir children cannot inherit your primary title, they all have the chance to earn the title of knight. First, we must be clear. From the high to the late Middle Ages, the title of knight was generally not tied to family inheritance. The title of Sir was typically followed by the knight's first name, not the family name. So, a knighthood was a personal honor, not a family one. A noble's non-heir sons could absolutely, through rigorous training and humble servitude, become a knight. They could serve a lord or monarch to win their own glory and fortune. For instance, William Ross, the first Baron de Ross of England, born in 1255, had 4 sons and 4 daughters. He was certainly prolific. His eldest son, also named William, inherited the title of 2nd Baron de Ross. Meanwhile, his 2nd son, John Ross, became a knight. Of course, if these sons without inheritance rights, after becoming knights, faithfully serve your family and heir, that is the ideal outcome. Furthermore, joining the clergy was another excellent option. Many high-ranking clerics were the non-heir sons of nobles. Controlling power within the church would greatly benefit your family's growth and influence. Many individuals, including popes, were once non-heir sons of nobility. For example, Pope Gregory I, Anastasius IV, and others. After all, several popes, like Adrian IV, were even born to commoner families. Your sons, therefore, have an even greater chance to succeed in such a career. There is only one pope, after all, but the church has many other senior positions awaiting your descendants. Boniface of Savoy, who became Archbishop of Canterbury in 1241, was the son of Thomas, Count of Savoy. In that family, many sons with no right to inherit the family title ultimately became high-ranking clerics. The Archbishop of Milan, born in 1207, Ottone Visconti, was a non-heir son of Uberto Visconti, Lord of Messino. Uberto had 6 sons in total, and in the merchant city-states of Italy, the children of many noble families would pursue careers in administration or commerce. This is how they made their mark. Consider the Medici family or the Albizzi family. However, sometimes a noble could not provide for all his children. Although it is sad, I must inform you that many sons without inheritance rights could only inherit a title if their older brother died without an heir. Only then would it pass to them. There is a rather extreme example of this. The family of one of England's most famous knights, the 1st Earl of Pembroke, William Marshall. Like you, my lord, William Marshall was blessed with many children. He and his wife had 10 children, 5 of whom were sons, and these 5 sons, remarkably, would hold the title from the 2nd to the 6th, Earl of Pembroke. None of the 5 brothers produced a legitimate heir. Over 26 years, from 1219 to 1245, the 5 sons succeeded one another as their father and brothers died, each inheriting the earldom of Pembroke. Finally, in 1245, the direct male line of William Marshal died out. It is a sad story. I sincerely hope your family never encounters such misfortune. To prevent a situation where your sons must bitterly wait to inherit a brother's title, or even grow resentful because of it, you can also proactively secure additional titles for them. For example, William III Taillefer, the Count of Toulouse, born in 978, the 2 sons from his first wife, both died at a young age. His eldest son from his second wife, Pons, inherited the title of Count of Toulouse, and also the Marquis of Provence, from his mother's family. Meanwhile, their second son, Bertrand, inherited the title of Count of Provence. This was a title the family acquired by taking advantage of the region of Provence's chaotic land divisions and succession disputes. The titles, authority, and lands were not fully secure and faced many challenges, but in any case, the second son still obtained a respectable title and status. If your family has historical claims to certain lands, you could also look for nearby territories with inheritance disputes. Do what you can to secure extra titles and lands for your sons. Sometimes, it may even be possible to purchase a title for them. On November 15, 1400, Louis de Valois, the Duke of Orleans, purchased the title of Lord of Coucy. Of course, marrying a younger son to an heiress from a noble family with no male heirs is an even more practical solution. For example, Geoffrey, the 4th son of King Henry II of England, became the Duke of Brittany by marrying Constance, the Duchess of Brittany. He thus acquired the ducal title. Naturally, a high-ranking, unmarried noblewoman would have many suitors vying for her family's title and lands. To secure such a match, you must first raise your family's prestige, accumulate more wealth, and gain an advantage in the political arena. Only then is success possible. If such an opportunity arises, I will do everything in my power to arrange the marriage. Additionally, allowing your non-heir sons to become mercenaries is another option to consider. In the late 13th century, the leader of the Catalan Company, Roger de Flor, was the second son of a German nobleman and an Italian noblewoman. He had once joined the Knights Templar and escaped from the fall of Acre in 1291. After being condemned by the Pope, he fled to Genoa and began a career as a privateer. In 1302, he founded the Catalan Company, primarily in service to the Byzantine Empire. Due to his outstanding performance, the emperor granted him the title of Grand Duke. He also married the emperor's niece, the daughter of the Tsar of Bulgaria. He rose from being an unknown younger son to the very pinnacle of success. I trust that if any of your sons achieved such greatness, it would bring you immense pride. Once they gain wealth, status, and power through the mercenary path, they will become a pillar of support for your family. Of course, sons other than the eldest are not always barred from inheriting. You should also know that in some times and places, rules of partible inheritance existed. For example, in 13th century Germany, the grandson of Henry the Lion, Otto the Child, received the title of Duke of Brunswick, Luneburg, from the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II. This was a ducal title. In 1269, Otto's 2 sons officially divided the estate, creating the 2 principalities of Brunswick and Luneburg. From there, John received the northern lands centered on Luneburg, while Albert received the southern lands centered on Brunswick. Both men, however, held the title Duke of Brunswick-Luneburg. Furthermore, in certain eras, German nobles had a rule where the eldest son inherited the land, but all sons could use the same title as their father. This was most common among counts and other lower-ranking nobles. For instance, a count's eldest son would inherit his father's title and all rights associated with the land. But his other sons could also be styled as counts. They would effectively be landless counts. However, even if the law allows for such arrangements, I still advise against dividing your family's main territory. Only a strong and unified domain will ensure your family's lasting prosperity. Dividing lands and inheritance rights will not keep your family united. It is likely to cause a powerful house to splinter into smaller branches, leading to the family's eventual decline and ruin. In short, providing for each child is your duty as the head of the family. I urge you to take this matter seriously. Place your children strategically in political, religious, military, and commercial fields to expand your family's influence. Of course, you should also give your trust, affection, and a good education to every one of your children. Unite the entire family and prevent it from fracturing from within. If you have any other unique methods, be sure to share them with your fellow lords. May your family achieve great power and glory. Until next time.